Hey everybody, welcome back to Edgington, the city on the edge here in Timber and Stone 1.52, which is a mantra I have pretty much just locked into my brain. Oh, and paper's leveled up, hooray, at this point, but I suppose I'd expect it to be. Which, rather swiftly, brings me to our topic of discussion for today, and that is memes. Things that human culture or social interaction picks up and just runs with, and they're usually quite incomprehensible. They're usually formulaic. They're usually things that usually start off with a bit of humor involved. Oh, hello, do I have something over here? Why are you over there, Aku? Are you trying to attack somebody? Yes, you're trying to attack one of the lily skeletons. You. Don't worry about the lily skeletons, they can do nothing to us. And also we would need to actually dig them out to attack them, so either way, kind of not worth worrying about too much. How are we doing with the iron crafting? We have 6. Let us see if we can make 6 steel. I have no idea if we will accomplish that, but we only succeed by trying more, so either way, it's happening. Hello, is that a dark chicken, or is that a... That's a chicken, yeah. Okay, fine. Thought there might have been a spider. Don't want to find a spider. So, human brains are a complete mess. This is very plain and clear. They weren't designed with any kind of meaningful forethought or architectural consideration or anything. It was just a matter of what worked at a given moment, and then over time that got built on and expanded, and eventually we get to this point where we sort of almost benefit from that utter chaos because it's part of what allows us to learn, because we can connect the dots into different places rather than being locked hard into certain things. So some parts of our brain, for example, are locked in, though they're usually autonomic functions, such as your heart beating, or for the most part your breathing, that kind of thing, your blinking, that sort of stuff. But a lot of our brain is loose and can go through. But nonetheless, it exhibits a structure that means that it is very given to patterns. It's very given to doing something and then doing it over and 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 over. And scale that up. Oh, level 16 Wolfram. Well, level 6 Fishman Wolfram. Yay. Scale that up to a social, societal, kind of civilizational level. And what you find is human does something. Other humans see this thing, humans start to do the thing themselves, and then echo across large swaths of the population. And I guess sort of in a lot of the same ways as a virus, a meme propagates and mutates, because each new person is doing it a little bit differently, or doing something different with it, and interpreting it slightly different as well. And it continues to propagate until it reaches a point where it just reaches saturation and people stop paying attention, pretty much. Yep, the training domain has deteriorated. Well, fortunately we have our... engineer Mary there just going away. What level are you, Mary? Level 4. You're working on level 5, though. We haven't had much call for an engineer for a very, very long time, so you're just sort of getting to work on it. Now, you're still not going to practice, are you, Clifton? Hmm? Level 4 Archer. You're not very far off level 5. Come on. I know you'll shoot at it, because you, like, broke one of them. In fact, you broke 2 of them. So why? Actually, can I just put you over here? If I have you stand there while you start shooting it, because there's no way you won't be able to see it then. Yep, that'll do the trick. I don't know how you're going to, like, get back to it, but I'll take it. Oh, level 8. Paper is learning quickly. Do you have the quick learner? No, you don't have quick learner. You're just overeater and clumsy. I'm sure that's not a markup on the real Kyo. Who knows? But at least now Clifton's actually, like, training. Hooray. Hey. So yeah, a meme can be thought of as being very similar to a virus, both computer and organic, more organic, I think, and it's a product of the way that human brains latch onto patterns, and especially when we see those in other humans. So for example, we have what are called mirror neurons. This might be way off, it's been a very long time since I did any study on neurology, but go with me. We have what are called mirror neurons, and they're basically what allow us to see someone doing something and then repeat it. And level 5 archer, good. Stonehouse working, this should be fine. So, mirror neurons are the thing that allows us to look at somebody else doing something and repeat it ourselves. We're good at pattern recognition, it's part of what made us so good, such good survivors, and we're, in fact, we see patterns and stuff in clouds and stars, so yeah, we don't know when to turn that off. We can't turn that off. It was too helpful for us to learn to turn it off. And then we combine those two things, we add in a bunch of our neurological architectural chaos, and we get a repeating pattern. And that then goes on into other human beings, like a virus, and propagates. It infects their thinking and starts to make them do other stuff. And occasionally it mutates into a new form. So you get different interpretations of the same meme, changing over time, even by the sheer virtue of just age and old meme. It's an old meme, sir, but it checks out. There's an example for you. Star Wars memes. Another stone hose. Was it Lars's? Yeah, it's Lars's stone hose, both times. Lars, are you okay? Could you go a little easier on the hose? I mean, actually, we are down kind of low there. Let's add 25 to the list. We're not doing terribly much else right now. Also, how are we for ores? We have 10 iron ore, 43 tin, 28 copper. Ooh, that should actually be just the 10, because it takes 2 copper and 1 tin. Wow, jeez, no wonder we have so much tin. We have 146 already. Jeez, I wish I could start making some tin hose, but I don't think they'd be especially effective. You're walking very, very slow there, Willow. What are you carrying? You're carrying a spare set of bronze boots? That's what's pushing you just over your weight limit. You might want to drop that. I mean, you got your steel halberd, your bronze plate helmet, your steel cuirass, and your steel boots. I think you'll be okay. Ooh, speaking of, did we get that steel in? Yeah, slightly. Okay, what do we want then? So I'm gonna go with the steel cuirass. We have one of those spare right now, but that's probably because someone's coming in there off of our actual rotations. And we haven't... Do we have enough for another leather tunic? No, we're one shy of another leather tunic. Stonehoe again, jeez. Stonehoes are breaking all over the shop, it seems. Hilla. So what does it particularly say for us that humans are susceptible to memery, to in-jokes, to repetition and such of social, like, things? Level 17 minor witchy. Yay. It tells us that there is the possibility of there being a form of virology that we kind of tend to overlook. It tells us that if we consider ourselves to be purely susceptible to organic viruses, things like the flu, the common cold, that kind of thing, then we are overlooking an additional level of our existence, which is our social interaction. And it then means that we can be, in effect, controlled by jokes, by repetitive patterns of thinking, by this capacity to see a thing, internalize it, and then just regurgitate it on command, more or less. And what's interesting is we then hit into another part of human neurology, which is like kind of a big problem. which is confirmation bias. We tend to approve more strongly of things that agree with what we believe than things we don't. We don't like to change our minds, we like to hold our minds steady in our minds. We like to entrench our minds deeper and latch them in concrete, as it were, rather than alter our way of thinking and looking at things. So, this is a product of how our neurons work together and such. It's how we learn, unfortunately, so it's just sort of a side effect of that. But it is something we need to keep in mind. So as a consequence of that, it's possible to have a population of people that are given a joke, sort of, something entertaining, something that can be classified as a meme, essentially. Internalize it, regurgitate it, rote, just sort of by sheer virtue of... Ow, sorry, my tinnitus is, ow, just hitting me in the face. Just sort of into a kind of, almost a brainwashing kind of manner. And ultimately you end up changing that person's way of thinking, that entire group's way of thinking. Ooh, guts. Clover on level 16 fisherman. So, you can then use that as a means to render additional things, later on things, to be, like, impenetrable, to render them to be imperceivable. This is like a serious or, like, worthwhile thing. You can use that to control voting populations, and people do. You can use that to control entire age groups. So, for example, we have the standing meme that the millennial generation is responsible for all the terrible things and that we're all lazy and whatnot. Which the millennial generation has now internalized as a meme, so it has no effect upon us, whether or not it's true. And thankfully, for the vast majority of things, it's complete nonsense. But if there is something that millennials are responsible for, we wouldn't believe it, I feel. Of course, we haven't had the opportunity to be responsible for anything right now, but yeah. That's veering into politics, so I will veer back. So memes can be considered to be quite dangerous in that regard. I'm not going to be sitting here being a doomsayer and saying, oh, we should stop making memes because they'll pollute and corrupt our civilization and ultimately bring its downfall or whatever. No, no. I'm just saying that there are certain properties of memes that are curious and that take advantage of the way humans think, which has led memes to be used for negative purposes. Spin, if you will. And on the other hand, however, they've also been used to do some good. So, for example, memes provide us with a cultural sort of landmark. They provide us with a means that is, in a lot of ways, beyond actual normal human language to interact and explain or perceive things. So, for example, let's take my good buddy here. This is Fine Dog. Now, this poor fellow had a very rough last year, and is having a pretty rough year this time of it as well, but he provides us, he's used in a very specific context in his original comic form to convey a distinct emotion and reaction to usually a piece of information. That particular piece of information is horrified denial. This thing is terrible, this thing is terrifying, and I'm going to sit here and believe it is not happening. That's the emotion that This Is Fine Dog just creates in meme form. So, we've gotten to the point now where the meme has mutated to the point that if I just show This Is Fine Dog, you don't need the comic dialogue in it, you don't need the comic itself, you don't need any kind of context, really, but you know exactly the sensation I'm expressing. It's almost reduced the sensation, the idea, to an almost pictorial level, where if I show you this one image, you know exactly what I mean. Memes are great for dense information conveyance like that, but the fact that it transcends language means that I could post a picture of "This is Fine Dog" in response to basically anything, and almost everyone on the planet will know what I mean. Anyone who's at least been exposed to the "This is Fine Dog" meme. At least. And a few others beyond it. So that means that we've now got a device for conveying a complex idea in an extremely succinct fashion. That is a huge advantage. Oh, Luna's level 19 blacksmith. Congratulations. Just burning through our ingots. And oh yeah, the ingot is very small, isn't it? I barely noticed that it actually has like a separate thing. Bronze very narrowly does as well. So much tin. So much tin. Right, oh, and people are off to sleep, it seems, because it's dusk. How are you doing, Luna? You're... no traits. Well, you should be up to level 20, eventually, and meanwhile, the higher up you get, the better you are at steel. So, memes... We're getting to the point at the end, like, midway through the episode here. So memes are good for conveying complex ideas succinctly. They are good for conveying an idea regardless of language, although it is worth noting that a lot of cultures and languages and such tend to spawn their own memes independent of others, and that makes it mildly language-based in order to penetrate them. So, for example, the Gremlin Diva, just sort of headcanon, meme, joke, I guess, either way, is unique almost to Western players of Overwatch, because the Gremlin, the gamer Gremlin, like stereotype, is native to Western gaming culture, whereas it doesn't exist in Eastern culture, especially Korean culture, where Diva is a renowned and respected character, and is indeed has become a figure of female empowerment in Asia. So, grats to that Diva and Overwatch team. But for the most part, you can stick a meme in and people will understand your meaning, as long as it's not too obscure a meme, as long as it's reached a certain period of its actual lifespan and spread. Have we dug through all of that? Jeez, I'm gonna start giving you guys more work. Blimey. Unlabel those. I know I didn't label these, like, last episode, but I'm pretty sure I labeled them, like, not too terribly long ago, like yesterday in-game, I guess. Blimey. Busy, busy workers. Busy, busy workers. So that's why we got all the tin. Okay. So I think there's a lot of good you can do with a meme. Like, if you were able to turn the right thing into a meme, you could promote social activism, you could promote charity, you could promote positive interactions, you could promote equality, you could promote so many good things in the world. But I did mention that memes can be specific to groups, didn't I? And there are certain groups who are racists, bigots, and all manner of horrible things, and they have their own memes, which they use to communicate, to convey their ideas that are less positive than I might prefer, and cause all manner of havoc and the like. Everyone's off to bed. But fortunately, those ones are usually so insular that they serve more as banners, signs, flags saying, "Hi, I'm in this particular group," rather than the more abundant ones, like "This is Fine Dog," who is very squishy. You're a very appropriate plushie, because anybody who like expresses your meme's intent wants a hug. But also his ears are very soft. Would advise, would recommend. Good plush. But anyways, everyone's off to sleep now. So, let me know in the comments, what do you think about memes? Are there any particular memes you can think of that convey positive ideas, that have a sort of universal understanding or interpretation of a complex idea? 'tis a fascinating concept. And looks like the night patrol's out, so as schedule, as always, next time.